Squad podcast episode 25, a quarter of the way to 100. Seth, welcome back.
Thank you.
Mason, I missed you last week, but we did have fun battling it out between Michigan and Ohio for the championship belt of horticulture.
Illinois can take fourth.
Maybe
fifth.
Michigan and Ohio get first, second, and third.
Yes. And I think Florida's in there, maybe California. Illinois is probably in the top 15 somewhere.
Oh, wow.
I like how I'm saying this. I live here.
I know. Yeah. And Seth and I work for a very large company based out of Illinois, a global company.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I don't know if I'm technically supposed to vote. I would probably vote for Michigan only because since I went to U of I, University of Illinois, we kind of really didn't like Ohio State.
Ohio State.
And Ohio State, right? So out of I remember the first time I went to Cultivate, right after graduating, and I was very much an Illini and very much hated and Ohio State. So like that trip, everything was the Ohio State. And I'm so I kind of got over it after a long, the longer period of time I was out of school. But I think that was
okay. So you're going with Michigan. That's fine.
I'm probably going to go with Michigan. Yeah. And they do a lot of blueberries there, and I really like blueberries.
He's right. He is right. We
I'm
do
right.
a lot of blueberries.
Why are you surprised? I'm right.
I'm just shocked because all the time that Seth and I worked together, he used to troll how terrible Michigan was.
Well, I mean,
he's just putting it in context. So it's just comparatively, he likes Michigan.
Well,
he really hates
What's
Ohio.
a good state to you, Seth?
A good state to me?
Yeah.
Hawaii, surrounded by the ocean. It's just in general, or a horticulture state.
It said a lot about you already with Hawaii.
I've never been, but it looks really cool.
I've given out listen, a good state is a state too that he's never been.
Yeah.
Well, because it's kind of funny. So before we get into the topics for today, I do want to acknowledge a couple comments that we got from listeners. So we did get, following up on Michigan and Ohio battle, we heard a few shout outs to the Buckeye State from folks from the Columbus area. It was very nice. But also, interestingly, two Michiganders who seemed to express nothing but love for the state of Ohio. Ryan McCoy and Jeremy Jagish, both gentlemen from Michigan, born and raised Michiganders, but called out the wonderful people of Ohio who they deal with, whether it's through family or work, and they considered the state's siblings. Two Michiganders said, hey, we're from Michigan, but we really love Ohio. So I thought that was actually nice. I don't know about the whole sibling thing.
I do.
That's like how the cooler older brother always, we love our younger brothers. I don't have any younger brothers, younger siblings at all. So, but
I really appreciate them, commenting, which is really nice. But yeah. I kind of feel like it's kind of an easy way out. Be like, I'm from here, but I also like this. I was just upfront and be like, I'm picking Michigan.
No, that's fine. That is totally fine.
Seth, thank you so much.
But hey,
I get it. You guys are aligned against me.
No, hold on. I'm picking Michigan, not Mason.
Oh, fair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So here's someone who might agree with us. So we also got a comment on Spotify. I forgot to mention this last week. Jacob Scott commented, yes to Roadhouse, all about Roadhouse. So we have another Roadhouse fan who's a listener, said that their Mother's Day weekend was their best weekend of the year so far, and then said thanks for keeping the green industry, or at least me, laughing each week. And ended with cheers, boys, which makes me think perhaps Jacob is from across the pond.
No, I've met him. He's a great guy. Not from across the pond. Yes.
Do you know what state?
It's North Carolina. I wanted to make sure 100% that I wasn't. The Carolinas, I get them confused. This is nothing against you, Jake. I get the Carolinas confused. It's North Carolina.
All right, cool. Well, we appreciate the comment as well.
Piedmont Garden Center. I think I said that right, too.
All right. So. Mr. Scott, thank you for commenting. So, all right. Do you guys want to jump into some topics? Because I got a couple interesting ones that I dreamed up here. I don't really know how this is going to go. The first question is a little bit unhinged. We'll let Seth take off his ball seed jacket.
Well, I'm just getting ready.
He's getting unhinged.
I'm getting all warmed up for the episodes. So.
I like it. The second and third topics are a little bit more related to horticulture. This first one's a little bit weird. So, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. The three of us are locked overnight inside a Costco. Doors locked, lights off, or I don't know, but we're stuck inside of Costco from the time it closes to the time it opens. 3 of us, 6 security guards are trying to chase us down and look
That's
for
it.
us. Their own the rules: no leaving, no getting caught, obviously no dangerous criminal activity. Like you can't choke out one of the security guards.
I have a question on that though. Are you allowed to eat the food that's still packaged and
Yeah.
Well,
not stealing?
the answer to one of Bill's questions is already. I've got my answer.
Was there a question? There's no question yet. Was there?
There, just wait.
Well, some of the points that I'd thrown out
Okay.
earlier were like, where are we hiding? Who's eating? Who's gonna blow our cover? Like, I mean, who's gonna get us caught? Like, who's gonna be like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and there's definitely gonna be a security guard guarding that front space where the bathrooms are at Costco. Have you guys ever used a Costco bathroom? They're always
Yeah.
very clean.
I have 2
Oh, no.
toddlers. I've used every bathroom of every store I've ever been into.
That's a good point. Very good point. So what's going on here in this Costco? Are we gonna get caught? Are we gonna make it? Are we working together?
I'd say if we have to stick together, we're getting caught. Sorry, Seth,
Mm.
but there's
Oh.
no way that Seth could go through a night in Costco and not get caught.
Why
There's
not?
none.
Why do you
'Cause
say that?
Like if
I can be sneaky.
if I had to put up like a picture of like if wanted least sneaky person in the world, like you're up there, close to the top.
That's gonna try to make friends with one of these. He's gonna get annoyed at us. He's gonna be like, I'm gonna go talk to that security guard.
Like I could see you being like, I need to are these puffs organic? Like I need to ask this guy. And it just like
He like hops out like, hey, question real quick.
real quick.
Yeah, I kind of get. I get scared. No, sorry, hold on. I have exceptional reactionary capabilities, which some people say I jump easily, but it's really like I'm like
Wow.
strong reflexes.
Mm.
Yeah,
But do you jump high?
I can.
Like
Like
a
not
cat.
normally. Like if I'm playing basketball, I can't jump very high, but if I get like startled, super high. Yeah.
It's a weird
Yeah. So
skill.
I probably would startle and like yell, like possibly.
I'm
Like a-
100% eating. Like I am going into the deli meat aisle and just tearing food up.
So that you
You
were
have
my
those
first.
pre-cooked like steak strips, dude.
Yeah.
Like, how am I not going to just start hammering steak strips when I'm just free and clear in a Costco? I'll
Well,
take them
you
into a corner. I'll climb up to the top of one of the racks of like beds or something and lay down and eat them quietly. But
How are you gonna get the food? Is there not a security guard like roaming the deli section?
well, there's 6
Costco's
of 'em.
big.
Yeah, man, it's huge.
There's 6 of them though. Like what do you
Well, they're
like?
gonna be distracted chasing you. They're gonna be like, that guy over there. He's like playing with a basketball or he's riding a bike. I'm gonna
Although
go
it
fetch him.
would be a good excuse to like throw a 12 pack of soda, or I guess like a 48 count of soda or whatever they sell in Costco. Like
Yeah.
chuck it like down a couple hallways or whatever, and then
Mhm.
aisles, and then it would
Yeah.
explode, and then like they'd be like, "Oh, what's going
It's like a
on?"
distraction. I like that. The distraction technique's gonna happen.
What? What are you gonna say, Mason?
I was just picturing you taking a 48 rack of soda and like Donkey Konging it.
You know what? I've been hitting the weights lately, so I'm
I was
pretty
thinking more
sure
like,
I
okay,
can.
hey,
Yeah.
there's definitely a remote control vehicle. Every Costco has one. You're taking a remote control vehicle, you're putting that down a couple aisles, distraction, you control where it goes, then you can go kind of wherever you want. So I was also thinking like, okay, the other thing I've seen lately, because my kids are always like trying to get one, and I'm like, no, at Costco that they have is like a pallet, like a Gaylord pallet, where it's enclosed on all sides with stuffed animals. It's like that's where I'm staying for the night, and I'm just digging.
You're
my
climbing
way.
in that.
Yeah.
Mm.
See, I was thinking like the clothing. They have like the boats of clothes, right? It's like a pallet. It's like 6 pallets. They're stacked, but I guarantee it's like open in the middle. That's not full.
Mm.
I bet you
enclosed.
could climb up one of the racks because they have like the two, they have the aisles and they got 2 like rows. You can just create like a little fort in between.
Yep.
the
What was that
different
movie?
Food.
Yeah,
It was like
Employee
a
of the Month.
show. What
Yes,
one?
Employee of the Month.
Dane
Oh
Cook.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think I actually got that. I was trying to.
Wasn't there someone living?
No, he's not living, but they have like they have like a clubhouse up there.
Yeah. Yeah. I could totally see that.
Because he takes like the forklift, like he hops on the pallet up, and then they're like, "Eek."
Yeah,
Terrible movie. I loved it as a teenager.
Mm.
Loved it. I think
Would-
is it Jessica Simpson as the love interest? It's one Jessica
don't
Simpson
remember.
or Jessica Alba. I think it's Jessica Simpson. because Jessica Alba was in Good Luck Chuck, another Dane Cook movie. This was like prime high school for
Yeah,
me.
that's
So,
your high school.
yeah, but yeah, I don't that part doesn't like this doesn't sound like a challenge that's too hard. But I
Right.
had you pegged for food, Bill, until Seth, as we're opening it up, was like, "Can we eat anything?" And I was like,
It's true.
"But
What about like on the
rotisserie."
security guard front? Like, they always have like stuff that you can ride, like bicycles or like some sort of go-kart
Mhm.
that comes in a box. Like if you take one of those and you ride around the store, do you have to stay hidden from the security guard or
No,
just
you
not
just
get
can't get
caught?
caught.
Oh, okay.
But I think you're gonna have to assemble those, like, unless they have, like, a floor model that's already assembled.
Oh, that'll be a big
And
deal.
so then I was thinking, like, what if it was, like, 5 days? Like, then it's getting harder, but the Costco, it would have to open at some point. So I think that's why it's
Well,
just from the moment it
yeah,
closes to the moment it opens, you hit
yeah.
out,
'Cause
you're like, "Alright, I'm staying in this Costco, eating the steak strips,
the
sleeping in
other
the Gaylord of stuffed animals."
the other thing that, like, I don't know. I guess we're imagining the Costco, do things happen at Costco overnight? Like, are they restocking at night?
I would think.
So this is just assuming that that's not happening. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Mm,
I think,
I think it'd be fun. Like, I'd be down to try this.
mm. Yeah, you could take some of the pallets with a lot of boxes, and you could like bring the like caulk or glue, and you just glue the boxes together. You create a little fort, and
Mhm.
then during the day when people are trying to get the box out, they're like, "What the hell? Like,
Yeah, they're like,
what
"Why
if I
can't I
can't
move this
take
box?"
my cereal because it's stuck to the
Mhm.
pallet?" And you could just be hiding on the inside.
You know how
how
long
did
you
you
could
get,
hide
how
in
did you
wonder
get
how
here?
long you could hide in a Costco and not get caught. There was a woman living in a sign, or, like, on the top of grocery store in Michigan, for, like, months, and she was, like, siphoning off the electricity that was lighting up the sign or
When?
something. This was not too long ago.
It might have been the best housing option for her.
Well,
I think
I think there was another movie that there was like a lady living in a Walmart. I think it
Mm.
was, I don't know. That was
I
like
okay.
think there's a movie that
early
just came out with
2000s.
Channing Tatum, and he's in
Yeah, he's like isn't he like
Toys R Us.
a con man?
Yeah.
And he's like living in, but this was, I think the other one was, I don't know if that Channing Tatum one's a true story, but the other one I think was like a true story biopic. There was
Oh.
like, maybe she was like a teen mom or something living in a Walmart. I
I
don't
think
know.
I I think I thought it was, like, based on true events, but I mean, like, really, that's really, like, loose, right?
Yeah.
Like, someone lived in a Toys R Us-like store, and then they just, like, ran with it however they wanted to from a creative side.
Well, like you could essentially live in a Walmart now. Just they're 24 hours. You just keep walking around.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't yeah, they probably would just, like, let you be, right?
Well, I think, here
How'd
it
you
is.
get here, Bill? How did we get to this?
I don't know, but check this out. Woman living inside rooftop grocery store sign with a computer and a coffee maker for a year. So I think she was back, like, behind that family fair sign for those of
Mm,
you watching.
Where was this in Michigan?
Midland.
Michigan grocery
Midland.
store.
Oh, Midland.
Midland,
That's not
Michigan.
that's not too far from where I grew up.
Mm.
Doesn't
That's
surprise me.
like it's like over here-ish area. I'm looking at
Well,
this
there
right.
you go. I think, yeah, I don't know.
Midland Dow was the high school, and I think they were the Adams.
Ooh. Well, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I could survive in a Costco for a while.
I feel like that's an easy one, like Mason said, like, how would you
Yeah.
not be able to survive? There's,
Yeah.
there's so many places to hide and so much stuff to eat.
Well, how about maybe a garden center? We should do, like, who could survive in a garden center. But here, along
I
those
did
same
for
lines,
20 years of my life.
that's true. A greenhouse,
Okay.
retail greenhouse.
Retail greenhouse.
All right, here's the second one. You're stranded in a botanic garden for 5 days. Can you feed yourself?
What time of
Yes.
year?
You're stuck inside a giant botanic garden with no outside food, and you can only eat what's there.
Yeah,
Which one of us survives the best?
Not
me.
me.
It's probably Mason.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll
I feel like Seth is gonna eat something poisonous. Seth's gonna
gotta
be like, I'm pretty sure that's safe to eat. That's edible crop. And next thing you know, he's just gonna be dead. Like, I
You
will
gotta think
probably just
outside the
follow
box.
you around, Mason, and just eat what you.
Honestly, the safest bet and probably the easiest, and it's discounts, is that most botanic gardens, or a lot of botanic gardens, I guess, have koi ponds. Koi are
Mm.
like, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. Like,
Yeah.
and really you only need to eat one of those a day to survive. But then, like, you can start a fire, So then you're just like, you literally just grab a koi out of a pond. Like
Yeah,
at this
I was
point,
about to
Is
say you
is
could grab a
is koi as edible as any other fish?
yeah, I mean, I think there's more bones. It's a carp. People,
Uh,
you can eat carp. Most people don't like to eat carp,
right.
Mm.
Usually throw carp back, but
yeah,
you can eat carp.
yeah.
When I was
So
a kid, people would catch carp in Lake Erie and eat it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean,
That's a
like if
good
you're,
point. And most of them have edibles gardens too. I
yeah,
mean, nowadays, like there's always like a showcase of, edible plants or even like ethnic plants. Like you could probably learn something while you were there for 5 days.
Mm.
Nobody's chasing you at the botanic garden.
that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Me.
there's all kinds of edible stuff there. Like edible, but maybe not the tastiest. Plus, I mean, like, let's be real here. Like, you got squirrels, rabbits. Like, there's wildlife refuge essentially.
You're
I have been
catching animals,
watching
like
Alone.
snaring rabbits.
Have you
That's my
seen
thought.
Have you seen the Alone show on History Channel?
No.
They're always like,
Naked and afraid.
I think it's similar.
no,
to
not
that.
Naked and Afraid. No, Alone. It's like they go and that's like whoever
Is
can
it the game
survive.
show?
I don't know if it's a game show. I mean, you win money if you're like the last one to tap out. But basically, like whoever stays in the wilderness the longest wins X amount of dollars. And so sometimes it's like 75 or 80 days, and they have to like find all their own food or kill it or whatever. Anyways, they eat a lot of squirrels in this show. And I do kind of feel like while I would probably throw up while killing a squirrel and, processing it, I've seen the show enough. I feel like I could harvest a squirrel if I needed to. I'm just saying.
I wonder if for a
I
while,
could eat a squirrel 100%.
No, but
for a while,
take
my
the
dad was
skin
putting
off and
squirrels in the
stuff.
freezer for my mom, and my mom was like, "Please stop putting these squirrels in the freezer. We're not going to eat them. Like we have cows."
Mm. Who was that? Who
My
was-
dad.
Oh.
They might still have. They don't have cows anymore. He might still have a squirrel or a rabbit that he
Just in
hunted
case.
in the freezer. I don't know. So
Hmm.
I've never eaten squirrel that I know of. Rabbit.
Yeah, I put that. I bet you.
I've eaten rabbit. Yeah. But I don't think I've eaten squirrel.
Yesterday I went down a weird rabbit hole and I googled like
Do we
top meats eaten in the world. So do you know what the top meat is eaten in the world?
pass?
Deer?
No, that actually didn't make top 10. Surprising.
No.
The
What?
number one meat is pork.
Horse? Pork?
Pork.
Okay.
But then, yeah, actually, horse didn't make a list, but it's like pork, and then they broke out different kinds of poultry. So like chicken was number 2, and then beef, and then it goes to sheep, goose, turkey, but like rabbit was number 10.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm interested that sheep was that far up.
Yeah, it was. Remember, global.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Goose.
but the reason because I had actually wondered, I was looking this up because there's a lot of cultures that don't eat pork,
Right.
and I was like,
That's why I was kind of surprised.
this goes back to we were talking about before this call is that for the Memorial Day weekend, I decided to throw 2 racks of ribs and probably like 7 pounds of chicken wings on the smoker. And we only had 4 people. And that's just the meats I cooked. I cooked corn, broccolini, and jalapeno poppers as well. And so I was eating these ribs and I was like, a lot of people don't eat pork. Then I was like, what do people eat? But then when I saw pork was number 1, I was like, wow. But it's because I think it's like something like 30% of the world's pork production is China. So in China,
just
pork
tons
is
of people eating
Yeah.
tons of pork.
yes.
Hmm.
But I also don't know. They didn't factor fish into that. I don't think because it was
Yeah.
not on the list. And like
Some cultures, yeah, you're pretty much eating fish every day.
yeah. So I don't know, but interesting nonetheless. I thought it'd be chicken.
Yeah, me too.
Well, what was it like pounds? Like what was the
Yeah.
measurement?
So
By pound
yeah,
pound per person per capita. Or something.
it was. That's like I think Kazakhstan was number 1 for goat or sheep, like in that per capita. So, but it was still
Well, I
much.
will say on Memorial Day, I ate far more than my share of pork because my cousin's husband was cooking up sausages and I ate, and there were extras. So I just kept eating pretty much till dessert.
I didn't even eat dessert. I was like, no thanks. Honestly, I'll have another wing.
Well, dessert is more like when the plates went away and people served dessert, and would not have looked good for me to continue just eating sausage. It's all good. It's all good. All right, so maybe we could all survive in a botanic garden.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I'd help you guys there.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I would say I'd just follow you around. All right, I got another topic,
Okay.
and this is kind of an interesting one, much more related to horticulture. What are some things that nobody warned you about when you got into the horticulture industry? And Mason, it might be a little weird for you because you were born into it, but
Yeah.
maybe think about your time after you left home or after you got out of
Yeah.
college, like maybe some big picture things that no one warned you about. And the one thing I was just gonna call a shout out at first is like the fact that sometimes the companies that you partner with or work with are also your competitors. And I thought that
Mhm.
that was kind of an interesting thing that would have never, we used to say at ball sometimes like in one conference room is a company that's like the biggest competitor of one division, but they're also the biggest customer or supplier of another division. Like, and I think like on the garden center side, like you could be partnering with the garden center down the street, bringing in tropical plants, but you're competing with them die hard every weekend for sales. Like it's kind of a, and that's maybe just because of how our industry is pretty tight knit.
It's,
Yeah.
I think that also like serves our industry really well. It's what makes us so friendly, I think, with each other,
Mm,
right? Because there's a lot of other industries that like literally like kill the other company. Like there's no alignment, no collaboration, no
yeah.
subcontracting. Like they literally just like hate that other company. And so, yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
think about like
nobody from your company could go work for that other company and come
Yeah.
back, whereas in our industry, that happens all the time.
I'm sure that like I don't know, I'm not a HR expert. However, we got like nobody's out here enforcing non-competes
Mm,
in horticulture. There might be some written in there, but like that tells you just
Mm,
how like it's not cutthroat about like, oh, so and so left this grower, and especially at the grower and retailer level, like no one's
mm,
like, hey, you can't go work for the grower down the street. Like, and that's like nobody's thinking about it. Like, honestly,
yeah.
they're like, oh, if you're staying in the industry, great. Like,
Right, you hear that all the time. Like, "Yeah, so and so, one of our best employees, they're leaving the company, but they're staying in the industry."
yeah,
You're like, "Okay, maybe
yeah,
they're going 15 miles away and they're gonna be like the head grower at a greenhouse that, like, is competing with you." But you're like,
yeah.
"Hey, it's all
And,
good. They're staying in the industry."
and I think we like a lot of times we unknowingly trade folks back and forth amongst companies. I think that that happens a ton. Not like like people are actively like, oh, I'll give you so and so for this so and
Mhm,
so, but like I think someone like somebody that works at Ball leaves Ball and goes to work at like Syngenta, and then they easily could come back to Ball in 15 years or whatnot. And I think that there isn't, and while I'm sure like this is unavoidable. Like there's the emotion of losing
mhm.
someone or being like, oh, they left. And I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm mad at you. But at the same time, like logic wins out. And years later, it's like, oh, yeah, this person is the best fit for this. And I don't
right.
think there's hardly any hard feelings in those situations in this industry.
Sure.
Comparatively to like where it's like if the senior developer at Amazon goes to Google and
Yeah,
then
mm,
they may never like if like they walk in the office and they're like, "Okay, you can't go back to your desk. Like
right.
just exit this. All of your stuff will be removed from the premises. Like you don't get to say goodbye, you don't get to do anything, like whatever."
Yep, and we're following you to your house to pick up your hard drives too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no. For me, what nobody told me about, and I think that this is I imagine maybe I did have a slight idea, but I'm gonna wrap a bunch of things into one.
a bunch of things. Pick
How
one. We'll go
but
around
it's
the
all
room
tied
here.
together, is that
Alrighty.
I'm gonna lead with how global the industry is, and because at the level that I was at growing up was extremely
Mm,
local, right? Like, it was like we were a greenhouse in a small town in Michigan, and, like, that was my foresight, and, like, my dad had a distribution company, and, like, so I knew that there were other greenhouses in Michigan, but, like, I didn't even have a concept because I was on the east side of Michigan of just how big of a player, what we talked about last week, Bill, how big of a player Michigan was in the global horticulture space. And with that, one of the things that I don't think they tell you like in college either, that they probably should, because I think that there's pros and cons to it. Is that like this industry, if you want to travel the world, like there is a lot of travel that can be involved in this industry. And now, sure, we've got meetings that we can do. The three of us are in three different locations and
yeah,
talking, but I think there's still a ton of travel in this industry, and and for families that starting a family that can be hard on somebody, and so you got to learn to make it work. And I'm at the stage where I got two young kids. I try to travel smartly. Like I enjoy business travel and I enjoy going out to see customers and going to shows and events. But at the same time, it's much harder now than when I was like 25 and I was basically like living out of a bag in an apartment and was like, "Where you need me, I'll be there."
Right.
But so it's, so it becomes a bigger balancing act, and nobody really explains that to you in college. They don't. Everything in college is like your career, and then like
Mm,
you're like, oh, how do I mesh that
Mm.
with having a family? In this industry, maybe that's a con. Is it can be hard sometimes on people because of the travel.
mhm.
But I think I found a good rhythm. I think we all have managed to try to find what that rhythm is and setting our limits.
You
And
know
with
what
the
though?
global,
Like
go ahead, Seth.
on that though, I think that people can. It depends on what type of horticulture you go for. Like, are you
Yeah,
going like, are you going to work at a company that's national, global, or are you
yeah,
going to work at a company that's local? Right? Like all three of the roles we have or have had, like Jax is sold all over the
yeah,
country primarily, right? So
yeah.
like you have customers everywhere. Whereas if you're like a local nursery, you might only have customers in Chicagoland, southern Wisconsin, so you could be closer. Or if you're in landscaping, you're like even a smaller area. So if you
Landscaping is pretty local, but I'd argue even from the grower level, like there are so many events like to take advantage of, like cultivate, right? Cultivate for 49 other states is another state away. And so most people in the industry know what it is. They try to attend if it makes sense.
I don't, you know what though?
But
I would,
even your plants are global, right? Like
Yeah,
the global element could be
yeah.
like all of my cuttings come from El Salvador.
So that
Like,
was big
or
thing the big thing that I was the big break was that I had no idea before I went to college that, like, most of the plants that we were getting in as rooted, liners were coming from overseas, and I guess
yeah.
not overseas or overland, whatever you wanna call it, but, like, that the production for a lot of those cuttings was taking place in a different country. You
Mhm.
think about, like, everything is started like, if it's living, there's no way it could come on a plane and this and this. So you're thinking like, oh yeah, we buy these in from used to be Dwayne's was the greenhouse. I think it's DGI now. It was like geraniums,
Yeah.
but like they're getting those cuttings from Mexico or Nicaragua or Guatemala. So it's just interesting. Like that part
Or
was
Kenya or
yeah
Uganda or
yeah.
a TC lab in India. Like, yeah,
so that
I
part
agree. The global
really
nature of the industry, most like when I explain, when you sit next to that person on the plane or you catch up with someone at a, a school event and they're like, what do you do? And you're like, work with plants. And they're like,
yeah
oh, like a florist. And you're like, well, no. And then you start getting into it and they're like, wow. I'm like, yeah, all those geraniums in your yard, not one of them were like it started here in America. Like that just
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
I would actually go as far as saying that the majority of the workforce in horticulture may not realize where the plants come from. They
that's
might
fair.
know, a good portion might know like Dwayne's or DGI, like their plugs come from Michigan, but there's probably a large portion of people that don't even realize like it came from offshore. Like I was talking to someone recently once and I was kind of describing the process. They're like, wait a minute, like all your perennials come from Colombia. I was like, yeah. And then like, then they don't understand why, like, why not? Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And so,
I was like
yeah,
light and labor, like
yeah,
Yeah,
two major reasons, and it's
yeah.
climate generally.
Climate is
Yeah.
like certainly the big
Like
one.
I go, you got to understand that greenhouse in Michigan. And for some reason, I always say that greenhouse in Michigan. Whenever I make
because
this statement to someone, it's really weird. But I'm like, that greenhouse in Michigan is starting that plant in January. Like
yeah
the worst, craziest, most expensive time of year to heat a greenhouse in Michigan is when they're starting that geranium for you. So,
yeah
like, yeah. Hmm. Another thing that I didn't know, like I would have never guessed about the industry, but and sometimes, and I used to think it was just me, but it's not. You talk to anybody, and I think it's pretty pervasive. Is like the segmentation. Like people who know annuals don't really know
Mhm.
perennials, and they certainly don't know shrubs, and they definitely don't know trees.
that's
Like
fair.
people are always like, "Oh, you're in horticulture. What's this tree?" I'm like, I have no freaking idea. Like
Just
oak.
go with
Like
maple.
yeah,
Maple and oak
maple, like,
covers your
I have no
bases.
idea, like, I know what a birch tree looks like
Can you
and maybe, like, a random, other tree, but generally, I'm like and especially shrubs, like, even some of the common ones, I'm like, I look at it like, I'm not quite sure, and then in my head, I'm like, that is obviously like a burning bush or a spirea or, boxwood, but like I can't bring them to mind. But you pointed any annual, I know exactly what it is instantly. And a lot of perennials, like Seth, you'd be proud. I'm pretty good. I'm getting pretty good at perennials too.
I will say, I felt that way until grow it,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
then like, I mean, I took an annuals class in college that I never had to, which I think like 80% of the course was like identification quizzes. And
Yeah.
my professor Bill Miller, great guy. He'd always give me a hard time because like he was like, "Oh, did you study for these?" And I was like, "No, not at all." Like yeah, like I don't know. Like sure, some of the we had to know
And he was
Latin.
a cut flower guy too.
And bulbs. I always just give him a hard time because I
Bulb
said
guy.
that bulbs were a dying a dying thing. Because he's like, "Well, what's your favorite plant?" And I was like, "Wave petunias." And he was like, "Get out of here." But I was an annuals and perennials guy. But then like trees, shrubs, no clue. But then like with grow it, people are like, they're like, "Oh, this is about plants," and
Mhm.
they align it all, and they're like, "What's this bush? What's this shrub? What's this tree?" And I will say, thankfully, I wasn't alone in doing that, and I had a good partner.
Wasn't your
Was
partner better at identifying plants too? I think he was.
I'm giving credit to Seth. Seth has impeccable knowledge. Like he spans the annual perennial, and he knows woodies and shrubs. Like we'd be at a botanic garden and he'd be like, "Oh, look at this Cercis cornudata," and I'd be like, "What is it? Like what?" And he's like, "Eastern redbud," and I'm like, "Don't even know what that is." And he was
Yeah.
like, "These trees are everywhere." And I was like,
I
"No
wasn't
clue."
I
But
wasn't as good with
since then,
annuals.
I feel better. Like now, I'll be like, "Oh, that's a silver maple. This is a
Mhm.
pin
Right.
oak." And I did that. We were on a walk the other day with like a family friend of ours, and like her kids, and like they were like picking up some leaves, and I was like, "Oh, this is a pin oak." And then I realized that like nobody cared what I was saying, but I just was like, "Oh, this is
But
ugh."
that's pretty good. Like that usually doesn't happen. Like I remember going to like botanic gardens with garden center people, and like the people who worked like the perennials department because they knew all the perennials. But when it came to a tree, they'd be like, no idea. So Seth, I am very impressed. Part of that maybe comes from like your landscape background, right? Because if you
Yeah.
work with home landscapes, you kind of know you've got to know multiple segments.
It's just because he had to take the identification courses like multiple times.
Like you
That's possible. I was about to say because I thought you were going to say because he took it in college. I was going to be
Lots
like,
of people go to school for 6 years. They're
yeah,
called
we
doctors.
call them doctors.
you know what? It was 6.5, actually. No, wait. No, 5
Don't
and a
even
half.
sweat it.
It
I
was
went
5 and a
also
half.
went 6 years, and I do not have a PhD after my name.
It was 5.5. But yeah,
Maybe
no,
that's what I missed out on in the semester early.
mm,
Only
mm.
going 3.5. It was the woodies knowledge.
Yeah, it was that extra
Ugh.
semester and a half or an extra 3 semesters of ID courses.
Seth
that-
knows woodies. We should make that into a bumper sticker.
Seth knows woodies.
Yes, he does. He does. All right. What else? What's
You know what?
something you never knew, Seth? I mean, you seem to know a lot. We've already established that. But what's
Sure.
something that you did not know coming into the industry?
How stupid complicated everything is. Like
Mm.
from just like the operation side of plants, right? Like because
Yeah.
they don't last. Like if you don't take care of them, they don't last. If
Yeah.
they,
Perishable product.
if it's too cold and the box freezes, they die. And so like it seemed like in a lot of and certainly, I mean nothing. I mean like on the sorry, I was gonna but like on the sales side of things, like you can
glitch out. That was awesome.
well, I was gonna like, kind of like
No one derails you like you derail you.
well, I had a moment of jealousy about fertilizer because it doesn't die when it's cold and it doesn't die when it's hot. But I wasn't sure quite.
Unless it's a
how to,
living fertilizer made from the byproduct of soybean processing.
oh yeah, right, and that's drinkable too.
Shout
That's
out.
good stuff.
Sauce.
Anyways, I wasn't sure how to. Yeah, I got derailed. Sorry about that. But like you can sell right, like I enjoy working with customers and people and selling the like new plants. But then like if it doesn't like if there's a production issue, right? Like all your communications and getting people excited about it, then there's a challenge, right? And then there's like all the operations and spreadsheets and all of this complex stuff that makes my brain just explode.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, and you worked in supply. You worked on the supply side for a long time.
yeah, I for first 3 years, every year I tried almost quitting ball. I'd call my parents and I'd be like, "I effing hate this office job. Like, I do not like being in an office." Here I am in an office 17 or 18 years later.
Yeah.
But it's like, it was like really I was like, what? Like, I just want to
Just
play with
grow it.
plants. I just want to cut plants off, and plant them. And so that's the office work, and logistics and operations is something they don't really talk about, or I don't know. Maybe I wasn't listening when they
Well,
said
I
it.
don't think it's appreciated either. Like on like the back end, right? It's like what it took to get that box of cuttings to that loading dock, and the amount of people who put in extra hours because it was December 23rd and half people are on Christmas vacation and it's a blizzard.
Mhm.
I mean, just the amount of that the logistics is a nightmare for a
So we're
perishable product being transported across time zones.
So
Mhm.
I'm gonna toot my not my own horn, but an organization that I work with. So that this is a problem that yes, for people who work in the industry and kids going into the industry, but also for consumers too. Like I think
Mm,
people are like, oh yeah, Home Depot sells my plants. They grow them out back, or maybe they have
right.
Home Depot's growing them, but it's really other businesses that are growing them and selling them. A niche, the National Initiative for Consumer Horticulture. So
Yep.
last year we did a fabulous webinar series, and shout out to everybody on the board or whatever the leadership there, which I'm lucky to be a part of. And there's a lot of work that went on that was not in my hands, so I'm trying not to take credit for this. But the webinar series was fantastic. It was called "Where Plants Come From," and it was kind of like how we had they had Tony Avent and then a researcher from Florida talk about how do they go out and find new genetics and what's the process for bringing that in. So this year as like a part two, and actually I think somebody, oh, I'm gonna forget the name, that's sad, but I'd reach out to Leland and he connected me with somebody at Ball Floor Plant is gonna speak. And so we did like where plants come from, and now the 3-part webinar series is going to be how plants get to you. And
Ooh, I like
so
that.
yeah.
That's
So
cool.
honestly, like we should probably do more of like showcasing these, because I think it went out to Extension Master Gardeners as like the main audience last year. And I think, that's another audience again for this year, but it's applicable all over. And it's great information on learning about and it's cool too, because like this one guy was talking about finding this palm genetic that was like rare and extinct almost on this island. And like this one guy was responsible for like saving this species of plant that before he had found it, no one knew existed. Like it was buried in somebody's like ship voyage log that they had seen
Wow.
this palm on this coast. And it turned out the reason why it was going extinct is these donkeys that roam the island were just eating all the young shoots. And so
Mm.
they put up a fence and saved this palm species.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah. So like that's an awesome story and should be brought to consumers as well. But we started with the Extension Master Gardeners because their outreach should then, take that forward. But so that was where plants come from. And then this one is like how plants get to you. So like we're lining up, I think Kate from Wallace's, we asked her to talk a little bit kind of about the retail side. Bob's Market is going to have a speaker from like some of the production and retail side. And then like obviously the kind of production, like what we wanted to focus on was like the offshore production from the ball floor plant and getting cuttings into the United States. So
Yeah.
that'll be a really cool series. But yeah, I had to give that a shout out because I think we talk about like how do we fix this? And so that's more for the public, but really cool informational series.
Well, it's part of that. I mean, telling that story is so important. I'll put a link to the Where Plants Come From webinar
Yeah.
series in the show notes. That's really cool. I know I've watched a couple of them. No, that's cool.
Also, Seth, fertilizer is affected by temperature and humidity as well. So
Yeah.
it's not just, like if moisture gets at a water soluble fertilizer, it can turn to mush. So that is
Isn't that in a
important.
bag?
Yeah, but nobody wants to open up a bag of soup.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just stick with the jealousy of how much easier it is for shipping powder.
It's easier till you're in it. That's what they say.
It's true. Like most things. Like most things. All right. Anything else? Anyone else have something that I think we could probably keep coming up with these forever because there's lots of this industry I think that you don't know until you're in it, like you said. So
Yeah.
no, I think that's cool. All right, you guys want to? I got a new segment for the show.
Let's do it.
You guys ready for this? I am calling this, well, the name was changed within the last hour and a half.
Go
This
ahead.
is
Go with your original
What
one.
was the original name?
Yeah, let's
the
go.
original name is the Plant Wheel of Doom, kind of like Circle of Doom, a game we used to play in college. But Seth thought that sounded mean and a little bit dark, so we're gonna call it the Plant Wheel of Excitement.
Well, or do you want us to talk about the bad stuff? Like, are you going to do on the wheel? So if it's like of doom, it could be talking about why we
Dude,
don't like
if it's a plant that I don't like, yeah, I'm talking about the bad.
I didn't
And
even
here it
get
is.
to this. I didn't get to this part on the topics for the week, so I don't even know.
Ooh, this is the Plant Wheel of Excitement. There are more than 100 plant names on here, annuals and perennials. I'm not doing shrubs. I'm not doing trees. But what I want to do is I
Seth
want to.
knows woodies.
It's true,
They
Seth.
do it
That's
all.
what he. But I'm going to spin the wheel, and we are going to discuss whatever plant comes up
Where'd you get the
Okay.
list?
off the cuff. Well, so to be honest, I pulled the list for our fantasy plant draft. Shout out to episode number 7 if you want to go back in the archives and listen to us draft plants for fantasy teams. And then I added in 30 more random annuals and 30 more random perennials.
Sweet.
So that is how we got to about 112 plants. So I'm going to spin the wheel. Plant's going to come up, and we are going to discuss it. Dun dun. And the plant we are going to discuss is
Cucumber?
cucumber plant.
Wildly. Go ahead.
I would say I planted a cucumber plant in my garden last week. And Mason, you probably have 600 of them, but I planted one. I'm very happy about it.
You plant plants?
Yeah. Yes, I did. I bought it. It's Bonnie's. It's a Bonnie's cucumber. I bought it at Menards and I planted it.
I want to know if you're gonna get a return on that. Like what's your return on? Like, how many cucumbers do you got to get off a cucumber plant to make it worthwhile?
Not very
The
many.
happiness on Paige, my youngest daughter's face, when she eats the first cucumber harvested from the garden, will be repayment in full.
Lame.
And it's probably going to have like spines on it too. It's probably going to be, because it's just an old school standard cucumber. So it's probably going to be all prickly and stuff.
It's wild that a cucumber came up. Before this, I've been on calls all day, so I had 10 minutes. So I ran outside. Forwent my lunch, whatever. My lunch, and I went out and looked at my cucumber bed to see if they'd sprouted. Everything's coming up. I
Nice.
planted 6 different varieties, probably 10 to average of 15 seeds a piece. So yeah, and then I ran out of space, so I got cucumbers in pots too.
But you can them, you pickle and stuff.
Yeah, and last year I had a crop failure, so
I
this
remember
year,
you talking about that.
yeah, this year we're taking extra care, but always planting from seed. That's the one thing.
I did plants, 2 plants from Heinz Brothers.
I planted them on Sunday, and it is Friday, and they're up.
Seeds.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really no excuse why I didn't, other than I was buying tomato plants and I bought a cucumber plant because I know Paige likes them.
Yeah. Are you, Mason, are you just, are you growing them up a trellis or anything? You're just going to let them be?
Just let them run.
I'm just gonna let them run. I was trying to look it up. I bought my seeds this year from a totally new seed company. Is a
Not
seed
Baker
company?
Creek?
No,
Oh.
because this year Baker. I have don't worry.
Wow.
I have
Wow,
tomatoes.
Moved straight from China?
Moved business.
You didn't
No.
even know what those seeds are. They could come up like jalapeno peppers.
I bet it's squash.
I think it's like
actually.
pine tree seeds. They're out of Maine, and so
But they have a
and the
really
reason why I got there
heat-resistant
was
cucumber from Maine.
They're harvested by people who wear Birkenstocks, 100%.
I didn't buy Maine varieties, guys. That's not how
Are you
seed
sure?
companies work. Yes, Seth.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the reason why I got there was that I Googled the best cucumber that I'd grown in recent memery was
Which
actually
is?
free seeds that Seth and I had got because we were giving them
is it
away,
Patio
and they gave us a
Snacker?
packet of 10,000 seeds. It was Patio Snacker.
Patio Snacker.
Good one.
So I was like, I Googled Patio Snacker, and this Pine Tree Seeds company was the first one that popped up. It was a good price. So I bought Patio Snacker, and then as I was looking through, they had like 30 varieties of cucumbers. So I bought 5 more. Now, but this year, my problem is that with cucumbers, I'm pickling them. And I'm like, yes, we're slicing them and eating them, but I don't need kind of the weird extreme stuff. I do
You
that
need
with
a consistent size.
correct. So I did plant painted serpent Armenian cucumbers. They're kind of fuzzy. I love those. They're the best fresh eating cucumber in my opinion. And so I did do that. And then but yeah, but Baker Creek got all my tomato seed business. This year,
All right.
I started all my tomatoes from seed, and I've been growing them under lights, and
Mm.
so they're doing great now. They're out in the garden. But cucumbers, great plant. But one of the ththings that we used to grow cucumbers for market. And so,
Yeah.
like, I mean, you'd have to go out every Tuesday, and this is what people don't realize is, like, when we had a field of cucumbers, you have to go out every Tuesday and Thursday at least and pick cucumbers, or else they get too big. And
Mm.
they're nobody
And
buys.
they
Nobody
don't
wants.
taste good.
No, and so you're out every Tuesday and Thursday. We always say we'd be like, we gotta go pick pickles, but really they're cucumbers is whatever. But they were
Yeah.
pickling cucumbers. But the problem is, man, like those, if you're picking in a field, your hands get beat up because there are those thorns in every single cucumber
Oh,
that
yeah.
people don't think about. And if you're out there picking them, like honestly, that was the worst part of kind of the farm life was going out picking cucumbers because there's no good way to pick them and the vines are fragile and your dad's yelling at you, don't break the vines because we want to be out there picking next week, and you're trying to make this crop go as long as possible because they'll keep fruiting, they'll keep going if
Yeah.
you keep the vines healthy. And then you got to take them back and we'd wash, and then like your arms would itch after washing them because of all those little spines and fuzzies on the cucumbers. So yeah. But yeah, we used to do pickles, and then we do like kind of like your straight eight type, like longer cucumbers.
Yeah.
But then that's where I learned about. We always do something weird. We used to grow these striped Armenian cucumbers, super cool, and like it's honestly like you guys got to try these. They're delicious.
I like cucumbers.
Yeah.
We always grow cucumbers. They tend to do pretty well in my garden. My whole vegetable garden's planted now, which makes me happy. It's all good.
I'm gonna do-
We got a
mine's never failed.
graduation party in the backyard in a week, so everything
Mm.
has to be like locked down in my yard, and I'm pretty darn close.
I'm gonna try to do
I'm
an
never
cucumbers in the
satisfied
ground.
with my garden, so I'm always like, even in like
Oh,
September.
puttering around. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too.
I'm gonna try to do it. I did last
trimming
year.
at the tomatoes this morning.
Yeah.
Mm.
Last year I did a vertical sort of trellis for my cucumber, and
Yeah.
it like took over. Like it was like 6
Mhm.
feet tall, took over the whole thing. So this year I did 2 cucumber plants right next to each other. So I'm just gonna extend that. So it's basically like a wooden frame with string coming down. And I feel like I did like that because then it doesn't take up quite as much space. And then I also
Yeah.
feel like you get a
It
lot
doesn't
more
get mildew as quick.
what?
It doesn't get the mildew.
Yeah, because you get a lot
powdery
more like wind and
Air,
air
yeah.
movement.
I
I feel like-
start them up, so like I have like a little wooden trellis that they start up, and then they just crawl the fence around my garden.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
I-
I'll put something up, guys. You kind of inspire me. I usually am like, I don't know, because I have the field mentality. Like
Mm.
I'm like in the field, we never put any of that up. So I'm
Well-
like, I want to grow a mini field of cucumbers.
When I do
Maybe
my
I need to take the home gardener mentality.
when I do my trellis, I will send you a picture of how sophisticated it looks because it's a suburban, garden, and then you can try to copy me if you want.
Yeah,
I'm
mine's
sure I'll
not
come up with something better.
sophisticated. Mine is just a beat up old wooden trellis leaning itself toward the welded wire fence around my garden.
Alex always shows me pictures of like things that she
Mm.
sees on Pinterest or Instagram. She's like, you
Mm.
could build this, and I'm like, I'm
Okay,
always like, yeah, I could.
Okay, speaking of that, because on Pinterest they have those ones where they have the metal kind of fence, and then
Yeah.
the cucumbers going like across, and then the
Oh yeah,
cucumbers
yeah.
hang down and like hit you in the face, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is
Seth knows
That's
woodies.
those woodies.
lost my train of thought there.
Are
Have
you
you
saying
tried-
like
does it
is
work?
this realistic? Because I've seen that too.
Yeah, is it realistic?
I don't see why not. I mean, if the vines were going across some sort of a structure, that they would hang down.
But don't want to
So-
create like a lot of shade? Because then you save space, but like the whole area would be like extra shady,
Well, I
Depends
don't.
on what you're growing under it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can probably do
Last year,
peppers under it.
I put up these cheap metal arches. They cost me like $10, and I grew pumpkins up.
$10?
Oh,
up
that's
the
cool.
arches. But the problem was my pumpkin started weighing like 20, 30 pounds, and it fell.
Felt.
And then last year, Alex bought me some like hammocks that I was supposed to tie off.
Oh yeah. We talked about the hammocks.
And so
Cucumber
I was supposed to
hammock.
use them this year, but then all of my cheap metal arches broke because they were cheap metal arches. So I
Pumpkins
threw them in the
were cheap.
trash.
My
Yeah.
pumpkins climbed. I had little pumpkins, and they climbed up the fence of the garden, so that worked out well for me.
Hmm.
All right, I like
Yeah.
the plant wheel of excitement. Cucumber, good one, good first choice.
Real quick, also, like what the first thing that came to my mind was cucumber and cat videos. right? Like,
But yeah, cats are terrified of them supposedly, but
yeah.
they're really not.
What? Have you ever not seen that? If you look up like cucumber cat
He has
on
cats.
what? I don't have
You
cats.
know.
I don't have
No,
cats.
Bill has
Yeah.
I have
cats.
a
Oh,
cat, and I put a cucumber by the cat, and the cat doesn't care.
what? Are you saying YouTube lies? Like, there's all these videos about like cats, like,
I don't
okay.
know. The cats don't
I
like
think
a
you
lot
guys
of
need
things, and
easy way to test this theory. Seth, I
Yeah.
think it's time for you guys to get a cat.
Nah. Say he's
Also,
we'll
buy
get you a
cucumber.
cat. You know what? With Mason and I'll chip in. We'll get you a cat. We'll bring
I
it to
think
your house.
that we can dip into the show fund
Mhm.
and get Seth a cat.
Cats are free.
That's what I was gonna
Oh,
say.
people
It's
give
really
away cats. Like, I don't think I've ever paid for a cat, and I've had 3. One of them was, like, dropped off on our porch by its own mother, like, "Here,
Oh,
keep this thing." So, all right. Shout outs, hot takes. What do we got?
Mm,
I have 2 shout outs.
oh.
First shout out to Tanya Carvalho, formerly a ball floor plant select 1 product rep, now the territory manager for Canada, the regional manager for ball seed. Congratulations, Tanya. That's
the entire country.
the entire country of Canada.
Congrats, Tanya.
She's awesome. And yeah, big shout out to Tanya. Love Tanya. My second shout out is to the ball publishing team because our biosolutions guide, I literally saw the digital edition as we were logging on today. And it was a lot of hard work from the team. I was in charge of it and a lot of big team effort. Biosolutions guide, 4th edition, coming with your copy of June copy of Grower Talks. It's a big
So is
deal.
this the best one yet then?
No,
No.
I'm just going to say no.
Wow.
I don't
Oh,
know
so
why. Could be.
so is
But
that
I'm not
less,
going to say yes. I
so
mean,
is that less
that's
of a
hard for me
so
because the
less
other ones are good too.
less hot take, more advertisement is where you're going with this.
Those are shout outs.
Okay, less shout out, more advertisement.
Yeah, definitely
What?
advertisement.
Well, it wasn't
it's
better
not-
than the
it's a
last
shout
Not
out
one.
really
to the team.
advertisements. I'm shouting out a friend for getting like a really cool new job.
Oh well,
And
no,
I
that one
shouted out
counts.
the team that I work with for putting in extra hours to put out a guide to the industry
Okay.
about sustainable growing solutions. Ultimately, you should like that, swoosh.
Oh no, I do. I like it. Yeah, sustainable. I'm
Same
in.
team, same team.
Oh man, I feel like I'm taking hits over here.
Bill,
I was
you
like, what the
corporate
hell? Why do you
seller.
got to call out ball stuff? Like, sorry, dude. Lifer.
So great.
Oh my gosh. I have no hot takes other than Seth.
And that is a hot take.
It is. It is.
I gotta
You know
get
what?
out
I
of
don't know why I said that. That is
I
like,
don't know why you said that either.
This is great. Anybody who's made it 56 minutes into this episode's in for a treat.
Shout out. I'll shout out. And since you shout out somebody at you shout out your home team. I'm shouting out my home team. So this is a shout out to Caitlin Sterner, who is our director of technical support. So likely if you had a tech question, and when I say tech to people listening,
So
most
she knows
people
how
in
to
this
fix
industry-
my computer.
No, not that kind of tech.
phone tech.
So if you had a question about what's up with my water, what fertilizer, how do we do this, like, or these plants look rough, there's a good, and you send it in to us, there's a good chance that you interact with Caitlin. And so shout out to her because she is a member of this year's 40 under 40 class.
Ooh.
So
Nice.
then that's
You gonna take a
I'm
shot
the-
at Jack's?
the blue juice. Shout out to Caitlin because she makes things happen at Jack's and she keeps us all organized. She's 10 times the organization skills that I have. So yeah, no, just shout out to her. And yeah, if you also Cultivate's coming up, and this is where the advertisement kicks in. Like, if you want to hear from me, I'll see you there at Cultivate.
Yes.
We also usually have a party. So you two are in, well, Seth's not going to be there. Bill, you're invited. But yeah, we're starting to talk about that Sunday night.
How do people get invited to that? Like, so
We
if
sent
someone's
out an
listening,
email to growers and retailers yesterday if they're on the email list.
Go to the booth and
Not,
talk
if
to
you didn't get the
Mason.
email. If you didn't get the email, it's not because we just don't have your email. So
If you go to the JRP booth and you talk to Mason, you tell him you listen to this podcast, I'm sure you'll get it.
are you doing
Get your
the wristbands again?
Yeah.
I have those floating around my house still, I think.
And stay tuned. We might this podcast might do a little something at Cultivate. We'll have to see if we can figure this out logistically. Seth, any shout outs or hot takes?
No, I don't think so.
That's fair. You don't have to.
No,
Yeah.
I always forget to like come up with ones beforehand.
shout out to Seth's Swoop. If you are a listener but not a watcher, Seth has I don't know, you get a haircut maybe, but he has this swoop in the front. Seth looks very K-pop right now. Like my sister-in-law was here over the weekend and she showed me all of these BTS videos that I didn't need to see. Like she got a hold of the
BT.
channel changer. They're a band.
Yeah. It's a K-pop band.
Yeah.
It's actually not bad.
Is that the Dragon
Yeah, but
Warriors?
it's just
No,
the K-pop. You're thinking K-pop Demon
Demon
Hunters.
Hunters.
Yeah, that's their show. No, this
But
is just K-pop. Yeah, no,
that's
just
when I
a
realized my
factory of
age.
music out of Korea that's very good.
Mm.
I realized my age because I was like, we were watching the music video, and I was like, "This isn't for me. I have no idea what's going on." And then she was like, "Okay, boomer." And so,
Right?
but your hair reminds me of a
Oh.
lot of the BTS guys' hair. So, Seth, congrats on being trendy and
Oh yeah,
K-pop.
no, I'm trying. Yeah, it's
I
actually
like it.
it's actually my hair is longer now than it like maybe has ever been. So I've been kind of like, working on it. It's slightly different. I don't go too crazy with my hairstyles. So
Mm. I think it looks good. I
thank you.
told you that even when we weren't recording. So
I know. That's why I feel like we needed to
Mason's
address
picking
it.
on you a little bit, but I think it's cool.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. It's fine, Mason. You know what? I might do the swoop on Monday, my next work day. I might do it.
It's not stylish enough for Michigan, which leads
No.
the nation in all
Well,
style.
it's got to be. When I was doing my hair this morning, the swoop was a little bit more center, and I kept trying to move it back a little bit. I'm glad it wasn't too centerized. It would have been like
You would have looked like the Superman, and then I would have probably made fun of you.
Well, I had to
No.
stand up taller than if I was going to look like Superman.
Man, my final shout out is to my my oldest daughter who will graduate from high school tomorrow.
Oh my god!
Pretty excited about that.
Yeah, there we go.
Graduation day tomorrow. Little sad, little
Are you
excited.
gonna cry, Bill? You'll cry, right?
I'm
No?
kind of
Are
an
you-
emotional guy, but I don't think so.
No.
No, she
Oh.
put in the work, man. She deserves it, and I kind of expected her to graduate high school. Like
Well,
it's
it's
one of
still
those
like
things,
it's still a big
a
milestone,
milestone. I know.
right? Like that's
Keep
like
being reminded.
I was just watching this Facebook memory video of like Sadie when she was like a baby making baby noises, and like right
Mhm,
when I was like on the couch looking at that, then she like
mhm.
walks by and now she's 15. I'm like, I just miss that so much. So I'll probably cry when she graduates.
She walks by you and she's like, "What's wrong with you, bro?" That's what
Well,
I
yeah,
get.
I didn't call out like the attitude and eye
You're
roll that comes
weird.
with the
They're like, "You're a
teenager.
creep." I'm like, "What
Yeah,
did I do? I'm just sitting here on the couch." Like, "You're a creep."
yeah.
Like, okay. Anyways, we should have a podcast about teenagers. I mean, how lovely they are. But
So
I
lovely.
think that is it for episode 25. I think that went okay. It was a little bit of a different episode. It was nice to have all three of us
No, it's good.
engaged and tuned in, getting ready for a nice weekend. The weather should be pretty good here, as far as I know.
Great here.
Well, Seth and I, we didn't talk about that at all. We have been lucky.
Mm,
In talking to people out there, Chicagoland May has been pretty nice on the weekends. Like,
yeah, same with Ohio.
yeah, but in Pennsylvania, like last weekend was not
A
great.
little rough.
So,
Yeah,
but for
I
us, it
saw
was
some
beautiful.
reports, some like 4 out of 10s coming in from the East Coast, and you're like,
You hate to see it.
I feel like
stinks.
the East Coast have had crappy springs
Yeah,
the
Mhm.
last like 5 years.
yeah,
that's what they get for
but
not
they're
living in
tough.
Michigan.
Or Illinois. Maybe more people. See, if people want to have a really good spring, they should work at a garden center in Illinois.
Nobody wants to live in Illinois.
No.
I'm pretty sure that you don't
No.
have a giant influx of people moving to Illinois, but it was a good place to live while I lived there. To our listeners, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. As we always
down.
repeat, we are looking for your comments. So comment. Would you survive in a Costco overnight? Would you know what to eat in a botanic garden? What are some industry things that shocked you when you got into this crazy industry? A comment what you like, what you didn't like, throw out some topics. We will discuss them. You can watch us on YouTube and Spotify, listen on Apple Podcasts. Shout out to Mason's mom who listens on Amazon Music. And the best way to get in touch and find out what we're up to is by following us on Instagram at GH Squad Pod. Reach out to us individually. Like, subscribe, follow, be a friend, tell a friend about the show. We love you. Happy week, Horticulture Week 22.
If you see something, say something.
Say something. Yeah. If you see that bag in the airport and it's left behind, mention
Say-
it to security. Gentlemen, have a great
All right.
weekend.
Cheers.
See ya.